Hi, my name is Jessel Boseman. I'm from the US, and I've been in Dubai for 3 years. So parkour to me it's a hobby and also a way of life. I've been doing parkour for about 9 years now, and I pretty much compare everything to parkour, so it's just a part of me. So I started parkour about when I was 7, and I was inspired by a lot of the movies I watched, a lot of the cartoons I watched, and I, at the time, didn't realize that all that stuff was done with computer graphics and strings, and I actually went on to mimic those, and I got pretty good at the skills. Around the time when I was like 15, the word parkour came about, and so since I was already doing it, I just kind of flowed with the movement. So when it comes to my training, usually I start off with a warm-up, and you always want to warm up to make sure the body's ready to go. You never want to just jump into the movement because that's the easiest way to get injuries. After the warm-up, I usually try to go, I start from the ground up. So building small skills like jumps, small climbs, just kind of getting my body active, and then once I feel good enough to go for anything big or anything specific that I've been trying to work on, then that's the time to go for it. Soon after, then I finish with a light cool down, and then of course stretching. Stretching is always important. Parkour is such a big aspect. Like, it's not just a physical movement, but you can learn so much. You can learn about yourself, you know, what it takes to push you, how determined you are. You can also learn coordination, strength, you know, your one-on-one, you know, movement as far as like coordination. So there's risks with everything, but the best thing to work on is to learn how to deal with those risks, minimize them as much as possible. Fall training is a big part of parkour. Definitely training at a lower level and making sure you have that down is really big to doing the bigger skills. So if you just take your time with the skill, of course there are risks. We all fall, it's inevitable. But learning how to fall the proper way is the way to minimize that. So Dubai is not so much built for parkour. Everything is kind of spread out. But in the individual cities, there are gyms. So there's a lot of really cool places that you can train on. But the cool thing about parkour is that the world is your playground. So as long as you're creative and you're willing to train, you can pretty much find anywhere to train. Parkour always pushes you to go to your next level. And when you're in that moment and you're working on a skill that you're having a hard time with, maybe it takes you some months, maybe it takes you like a year to get the skill. And that moment when you finally get that skill down and you're able to do it outside or anywhere, it's just, there's this release of endorphins, like you feel great about it. One memory I have, there's a skill called a triple cone, where you bounce 3 times on an object with your hands before you land. And the first time I got a chance to do that outside on actual concrete and I was successful, like that was a rush of excitement. And I had a bunch of friends around with me too, so the hype was even bigger. So yeah, that's a big memory I have in parkour. So for beginners, I always recommend that you start small. A lot of times people coming into the sport see the people who've been in the sport for a long time. And so they think that jumping across large buildings or making the most massive flips are what parkour is, but that's only an end result. So of course there are risks, but taking your time with the movement mitigates those risks so you don't have so much problems with that. But yeah, I'd just say, like, at the beginning, start small and take your time. I would say, like, parkour is for everyone. If you want to learn how to move, you want to, you know, stay active, it's a great sport for you. A lot of people are afraid of it because they're afraid to hurt themselves, when in fact parkour is better for you because it'll teach you how to move around your environment. It'll teach you quick reaction time. It's really good for your endurance, your strength. So I suggest that if you're gonna start parkour, I would say do it. First thing first is getting started. And then second thing, take your time, be patient. A lot of times when I train people, they sometimes try to catch up to others. Another advice I would have for you guys is just stay in your lane, be patient with your movement, and let the process work for you.